Surprise! After the blue bathroom makeover, I snuck in another bathroom renovation. This time it was my parents' bathroom, specifically the vanity area. My mom loved the black trim in here, so I kept the same color scheme but just changed the yellowy beige walls to a neutral toned lime wash and swapped out the old vanity with a new walnut vanity with shaker doors that fits the style of this craftsman home. And I know some people loved the old vanity, but it barely opened and frankly just isn't my style. But don't worry, I did find it a new home. Now that their vanity area is done, there is one more thing that my parents want to add in here. So what can you see is missing in here? We have nothing here, and I feel like I think we should have a cabinet here just for even more storage. That's right, more storage. The issue is we have this outlet and this outlet to work around, but I think if we found something that extended only this much, this wide, and then as tall as we want, basically, I think that would be a really cool use of space. So let's try it. My plan in here is to build this tall cabinet out of two ready-made full overlay shaker cabinets, stacked on top of each other with added feet and trim. Kind of like this. And I know my drawing skills are not the best. This drawing actually became this big beautiful wall of built-ins in my parents' bedroom, and this one became all the paneling that I did on the walls in their front blue bathroom. But one of my goals this year is to learn how to 3D model my designs, and this cabinet build seems like a good place to learn, especially since this cabinet design is pretty simple. So I took this class on Skillshare that teaches how to design your own 3D furniture model, and like all of Skillshare's classes, this was taught by a real person, a talented creative, in this case a Dutch architectural designer and engineer named Auke. And by the end of his 40-minute class, I could turn this sketch into this 3D model. Just a little more accurate than the sketch, right? I'm so excited to do this for my future projects too, especially big room transformations where it's hard to visualize otherwise. So next up, I'm planning to take this ultimate 3D modeling course that's taught by an interior designer. And by the way, these skills aren't just for fun. If you ever plan to move walls or majorly renovate your home, you'll need to create renderings to submit for permits. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather learn to DIY than pay someone else every time I want to remodel my home. And if you're watching this as a beginner DIYer and want to get into woodworking or furniture upcycling or even interior design, there are tons of options for you. I also curated a full list of great furniture building classes for you on Skillshare if you're just getting started, and you can find that link in the description. Also, the first 500 people to scan the QR code here or use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start learning for free. So these cabinets are supposed to be really easy to assemble. They have this click lock technology. I was really intrigued by the idea of them being click locks. So we're gonna try it today and see if it's as easy as it says. Hi, sweetie. You gonna help me? Okay. Ooh. Ooh. So that was it. It was all click lock. And then the only hardware it comes with are the shelf pins and some silicone pads to keep the door from slamming. But that was so easy. I really like this. Pretty good. And no, this is not a sneaky ad for these cabinets. I just think they're cool. And I also think it's cool how materials are evolving to be more DIY friendly, but still have nice features like full overlay doors. I personally hate partial overlay, and these also have pre-finished insides so they're easier to clean. The one thing I don't love though is that they're not slow close, but I think there's some adapters I can buy that keep them from slamming. Okay, it's assembly day. These things are super heavy though. I think they're like 50 pounds each, and I'm doing this by myself. So what I want to do is just put the feet on in here and then do all the final assembly near the bathroom so that I can move them in parts. Since these are wall cabinets, they don't have a flat top or bottom, so there was nothing to screw the legs into. So I had to cut some scrap wood to fill in the gaps and give me a flat surface to work with. And I'm also using legs that are as close as possible to the style of the vanity feet. These feet are also nice because they're adjustable. You can just twist them to make them taller or shorter, which is really nice in a space with uneven floors. They also came with these little rubber pads to protect from scuffing. For moving furniture by yourself, I always recommend having a good dolly around, and I love this one because it has carpet on each end that cushions furniture and also prevents dents and scratches. Plus, once you get that furniture on, you can just scoot and swivel it around easily. Also, can you tell that my parents have started moving in? The maximalist decor is already out and about. Then I flipped the bottom over, scooted it into the bathroom, and... Oh no. I think it's too big. I mean, it fits technically, but I feel like it's too bulky visually in here. I think like if I did that second cabinet on top, it would just look crazy. And then it would crowd this sconce. Probably should have thought of that before. I kind of like this as it is right here, one piece of furniture. You could use the top as like an additional shelf for display items. That could be cool. No project is ever easy with me. So I thought about it all night and thought maybe I'd stain it brown and add a brass gallery rail on top to make it look like fancy furniture. But I think it would just look so cheap next to the beautifully stained walnut vanity. Or maybe I paint it to camouflage with the wall so it disappears, but it would be super hard to color match the lime wash. Or maybe I just move it over here in this corner in the hallway, but it feels so random it would still be super tall and block this utility door. Every option honestly made me feel a little sick to my stomach, and I think that's always a good sign that you need to make a hard pivot in life. So I'm quitting DIY. No, just kidding. But we are quitting this tall cabinet idea and the bathroom. Instead, we're leaving the bathroom as is and heading out to my parents' shed, which my mom plans to turn into a she shed for crafting. And you know what a good craft room needs? Storage. Yes, we love storage, folks. I come from a family of maximalists. We need a lot of it. Now, the walls are shorter in here, so instead of one tall cabinet, the plan is to anchor the cabinets side by side and turn them into a dresser for under this window. It actually fits these dimensions perfectly. And to fit the crafty, eclectic vibes in here, we're gonna try something I've been wanting to do forever. Folk art. I think this is the perfect creative space for it. Now, one question does remain. If I'm painting the dresser, what should we do for the top? I'm torn between a tile mosaic, a stone remnant, or stained butcher block. What do you think?